mornings in our small town always carried the same rhythm. The slow hum of the bakery's ovens, the faint ring of the church bell, and my own footsteps against the damp pavement as I began my deliveries. Being a postman meant I saw every street, every door, but somehow I still felt invisible. People smiled politely, said thank you, and quickly moved on. No one ever asked how I was. Truth be told, I wasn't sure what I'd even say if they did. I had been carrying that quiet, hollow feeling for years. It was rooted deep in an old memory, one where I stood on the sidelines and did nothing when someone needed me. I told myself I had no choice back then, but the guilt stayed. Over time, I learned to keep my head down, delivering mail like clockwork, avoiding any chance of becoming part of someone else's story. Then there was Walter. He lived at the edge of town, in a house that always smelled faintly of wood smoke and tea. At first, I thought he was just another name on my route. But Walter had a way of stopping you without making it feel like you were being stopped. Every time I handed him his letters, he'd ask about my day, not in the casual way most people did, but like he actually wanted to hear the answer. One afternoon, I lingered. It wasn't intentional. He had just said something, softly, like he was sharing a secret. He told me that people often mistake small moments for nothing at all, when in truth, they're the threads holding everything together. I didn't quite understand what he meant, but the words stayed with me. As the weeks passed, our short exchanges grew into longer talks. Walter told me stories of his years as a teacher, how a kind word to a shy student sometimes changed the course of their whole life. He spoke as if life's meaning wasn't in the grand events, but in the unnoticed acts that most people forget they even did. Still, part of me resisted. I had spent so long avoiding involvement that I wasn't sure I wanted to believe him. But there was something about Walter's voice, about the way his eyes softened when he spoke, that made me feel as though he had seen through my quiet walls. And maybe he was waiting for the moment I'd be willing to step out from behind them. It happened on a Wednesday afternoon, the kind of day where nothing seems urgent and the town moves in slow motion. I was on my way to deliver a parcel to the corner store when I heard raised voices. Inside, near the counter, a boy, couldn't have been more than 12, was standing stiffly while the shopkeeper accused him of trying to steal a candy bar. The boy's eyes darted around, his hands shaking as he tried to explain. His voice was small, and I could feel the tension in the air, sharp and heavy. I froze at the doorway. The old me would have stepped back out, told myself it wasn't my place, and walked away. But Walter's words were there, echoing in my mind, about small moments, about threads holding life together. I stepped forward. My voice wasn't loud, but it carried enough weight to make the shopkeeper turn toward me. I told him I'd seen the boy outside earlier, and I'd noticed he'd come in with a few coins in his pocket. Maybe it was a misunderstanding. The shopkeeper hesitated, then, grumbling under his breath, let the boy go. Outside, the boy muttered a quiet thank you before running off. It wasn't dramatic, no music swelled, no crowd applauded, but my chest felt different, lighter, warmer. As I continued my route, I realized I'd done something I had been avoiding for years. I had stepped into someone else's story. That evening, I stopped by Walter's house. He was sitting by the window, sipping tea, as if he had been waiting for me. I told him what happened. He listened, a faint smile in his eyes, and then said something I'll never forget. He told me that the world isn't changed only by the people who make the headlines. It's changed, bit by bit, by people who choose to care in the moments no one else sees. That, he said, was the kind of life worth living. One where you leave behind invisible kindness that still ripple long after you're gone. Walking home that night, I understood. I had spent years believing my life was too small to matter. But that day, I learned the truth. A single choice, made quietly, can shape someone's tomorrow. And sometimes, that's enough. Some lessons arrive like storms, shaking everything at once. Others slip in quietly, like sunlight through an open curtain, changing the room without you realizing it. That day, I learned that our worth isn't measured by how many people notice us, but by how deeply we choose to notice others. Every kindness plants something, even if we never see it grow. So maybe the real question isn't whether our lives matter. It's whether we're willing to make them matter, one small act at a time. If this story touched you, share it, leave your thoughts below, and subscribe for more tales like this.